A Chinese aircraft carrier slips through the East China Sea, but somewhere beneath, a Japanese submarine stalks silently, its presence undetected yet undeniable. For years, Soryu and Taigei-class submarines have sunk supercarriers in drills without ever being found. If they are this hard to spot in practice, what happens when the real stakes arrive? The answer lies in the secrets of engineering, and in the few seconds it takes to disappear beneath the surface. Inside a Soryu-class submarine, the world shrinks to steel, shadows, and the low hum of machinery. What keeps these boats hidden for weeks isn't magic, it's engineering. The secret starts with air-independent propulsion. Instead of surfacing to suck in air, the Soryu system burns diesel using bottled liquid oxygen. This closed loop means the engines keep running far beneath the waves, with barely a whisper, compared to old diesel-electric subs, which had to rise up and risk detection every few days. These boats can stay down for thousands of miles. Public figures put it at nearly 6,100 nautical miles submerged. But the real leap came when Japanese engineers swapped out traditional batteries for lithium-ion cells. On the last two Soryu-class boats and all Taigei-class subs, these advanced batteries pack more power, weigh less, and charge faster. That means longer patrols, higher speeds, and no need to surface for fresh air. The result is a submarine that can outweight, outrun, and hide from its pursuers. A retired submariner once described life below as living in a world of silence and patience. With bottled oxygen and cutting-edge batteries, that world stretches on, sometimes for weeks, while the ocean above remains blissfully unaware. Beneath the surface, the Soryu and Taigei-class submarines owe their silence to more than just quiet engines. Their hulls are forged from high-strength steel, built to withstand crushing depths and scatter sonar pings. Along the outer skin, layers of rubbery anechoic tiles soak up sound waves, making the submarine appear almost invisible to active sonar. These absorptive coatings are not just for show. They help neutralize the sharp echoes that enemy ships use to hunt for shadows in the deep. Inside, the hull is lined with floating floors and vibration-dampening mounts. Every pump, motor, and even the lights are cushioned to smother the faintest hum. This obsession with noise control means that even the most sensitive enemy microphones struggle to pick up a trace. The compact shape of these submarines, measuring 84 meters in length, is another deliberate choice. Smaller size means a smaller target and less water to disturb, but agility matters as much as silence. Instead of the old-fashioned cross-shaped rudder, Japanese engineers chose an X-shaped rudder system. 4 fins, angled like a star, give the submarine precise control in tight or shallow spaces. This is an edge in the East China Sea, where depths can drop from hundreds of meters to less than 50 meters within a few miles. This design lets the submarine twist, dive, and slip away where others might scrape bottom or lose their cover. In these confined waters, stealth is not just about being quiet, it is about moving without leaving a trace. On maritime charts, the Miyako Strait appears as a narrow gap, just 250 kilometers wide, between Okinawa and Miyako Island. For a Chinese carrier group, this is the only deep water corridor between the East China Sea and the Pacific, a place where the ocean floor rises and falls in steep ridges. Submarines like the Soryu and Taigei-class turn these choke points into hunting grounds. Carrier groups rarely exceed 20 knots as they pass through these waters, slowed by the need for tight formation and constant vigilance. But speed is not the only concern. The bathymetry here creates layers of sound. Cold water, warm currents, and rocky outcrops scatter sonar signals, forming acoustic dead zones. In these pockets, a submarine can slip within striking distance, shielded by the ocean's own noise. The cat-and-mouse game unfolds beneath the surface, where the difference between observability and detectability becomes everything. Chinese sonar operators know that somewhere, just beyond the range of their towed arrays and dipping sonars, a silent observer is tracking their every move. Yet the ambient noise, generated by shifting currents, merchant traffic, and the rumble of the carrier's own engines, creates a wall of static. An analyst once described these waters as a symphony of confusion, where even the most advanced sensors struggle to separate a real threat from background clutter. Here, the advantage belongs to the boat that can wait, listen, and move with the rhythm of the strait itself. The geography does not just shape the game, it decides who vanishes first. Chinese carrier groups rely on a web of anti-submarine tools to guard against silent threats below. The backbone of that defense is the shipborne helicopter. The People's Liberation Army Navy K-28 helicopter, for example, lowers its dipping sonar into the water, searching for echoes that betray a submarine's presence. In perfect conditions, that sonar can reach out to about 8 kilometers, but the ocean rarely cooperates. Layers of warm and cold water bend sound in unpredictable ways. Strong currents, rough seas, and the constant thrum of merchant traffic all muddy the signal. Even the carrier's own engines add to the confusion, creating blind spots where a submarine can slip by undetected. Surface escorts trail long-towed sonar arrays, listening for the faintest trace of propeller noise. These cables stretch for hundreds of meters, but their effectiveness drops sharply in shallow or cluttered waters, exactly the kind of environment found near the Miyako Strait. The arrays are sensitive, but they are also fragile. High sea states can force ships to reel them in, reducing coverage right when it is needed most. Every platform, whether helicopter, destroyer, or frigate, has limits on how long it can stay on station, and gaps appear as assets rotate out for fuel or maintenance. For the analysts aboard the carrier, uncertainty becomes routine. They know the math. Detection cones rarely overlap, and the ocean is vast. Crew members cycle through tense shifts, tracking contacts that vanish as quickly as they appear. The knowledge that a submarine could be close, quiet, patient, invisible, creates a pressure that no amount of technology can erase. Carrier defense is a game of probabilities, not certainties, and the odds always favor the hunter who waits in silence. Across the Western Pacific, a silent network stretches from the home islands of Japan to the edges of the Philippine Sea. Here, Japanese and American submarines move in patterns few outsiders ever see, forming a layered web of patrols. Military planners in Beijing know the map. Any carrier group sailing toward Taiwan or the open Pacific must cross through these guarded waters. The presence of Soryu and Taigei-class submarines, quiet, elusive, and always suspected, forces Chinese naval strategists to rethink every timeline. In classified war games, even the hint of a Japanese submarine in the area can delay a carrier group's advance by 48 hours. That pause is not just a tactical inconvenience, it can derail entire invasion scenarios, buying precious time for allied forces to mobilize. US and Japanese naval doctrines are written with this in mind. Their patrols overlap, their intelligence is shared, and their exercises are designed to test and reinforce this alliance. A retired alliance strategist put it simply: the uncertainty these submarines create is more powerful than any missile. For every carrier that sails, there is a calculation. How many unseen threats are waiting below, and how long can they afford to hesitate? Mitsubishi and Kawasaki shipyards run with a rhythm few countries can match, delivering a new submarine about every 18 months. This steady pace is not just about numbers, it is about staying ahead in a race where silence is the prize. Each Taigei-class hull rolls out with the latest generation of lithium-ion batteries. But the upgrades do not stop with propulsion. Engineers are already working on battery safety systems that can contain thermal runaways, a concern as energy density climbs. Research teams in Yokosuka and Kobe are exploring new ways to shield submarines from not just sonar, but emerging non-acoustic sensors, technologies that could one day spot a submarine by its magnetic or thermal signature instead of its noise. By keeping every stage of submarine design and construction in Japanese hands, the country controls its own future at sea. This industrial backbone means that as detection methods evolve, Japan's silent fleet will keep pace quietly, methodically, always ready for the next horizon. Silent beneath the waves, Japan's submarines complicate every calculation in the Pacific. As maritime tensions surge, invisible threats shape real-world strategies. For every carrier on the surface, a question remains unanswered below. In this new era, what you can't see may matter most. What's your take?